Okay, so this video will talk about the age of the ocean chapter, and in this chapter we have adjacent element product, shape area, make array consecutive second, almost increasing secrets, and metric element sum. So let's just get started. So adjacent element product. So you are given an array and find the maximum of the product with neighbor, right? So in this example, 3, 6, negative 2, negative 5, 7, 3, right? The adjacent product is either 18 or negative 12, negative positive 10, negative 35, and positive 21, right? So I just take the left element and multiply by itself, and then you get the answer. So in max equal to, so we initialize this to minimum, and we loop through it. But when we loop through it, we only starting from the index 1, and we make a local max here, which is itself multiply the previous one input, and when we find the local max, we check with the global max. So you return max, right? So the idea is find the left side and multiply by itself and compare with the global max. So let's just run it. Correct. So you'll get the idea when you know you only need to grab the left side, you don't need to grab the right side, because when you move on the next index, when you grab on the left side is equal to when this index grab on the right side. So you only grab on one side, it's either the left or the right. You can start from index 0, but when you multiply you have to add 1, right? And multiply array in array I plus 1 and make sure the constraint should be I plus 1 less than input array length. And this will be the question for the adjacent element product, and the time and the space, all of n for the time, like you need to loop through the array, and then space, you just create a temporary, should be of 1. And let's go on the next question. Shape area. So in this question, okay, basically we need to find an area that colors on the blue, right? And the idea is I take the whole circle, no, not a circle, square, whole square area, subtract the white spot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 12, right? So take the entire big square area and subtract this. So how do I get this stuff? And if you notice, the length of the base of the triangle start from n minus 1. So 2, when n equals to 3, the base of the triangle is 2, and then 1, and then n equal to 4, the base is 3. Start from 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, right? 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, and then this is the same thing. So when we find 1, we just multiply 4 and then subtract by total area. So we need to get a square length, right? So how do we get it? So if you notice, the length of the square is actually the n plus n minus 1, 3 plus 2, 2 plus 1, and then 1 plus 0, right? So 4 plus 3, so it's n plus n minus 1. And you need the answer to store it. So let's just, we can start from the total area. So the total area will be like this, right? And we need to find the white spot, so white equals to 0. And we need to find the area of the small triangle. So while n minus 1 is not equal to 0, the white plus equal to n minus 1, and then n minus. So n minus 1 is 3, so white plus 3, and then n minus is 2. So n minus is 3. So when you go on the next one, 3 minus 1 is 2, y plus 2, and then n minus is 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1, and then y plus 1, and then you will get the entire area for the small triangle. And what you need to do is you just subtract, right? So you return the answer minus 4 times the white, and then you will get an entire blue area. So you will get an idea, right? So you get an entire square area, and then subtract the small triangle times 4. So compile error. Okay, let me see if I made a typo for sure, right? Yes, I made a typo. So square SQ. Okay, I spelled it wrong. SQ. So let's just run again. Okay, correct. So the time and the space, and for the time, I would say O of n, since you need to loop through to 0, and space is O of 1, like just temporary variable, right? And the idea is like this. Hope you get it, and let's move on to the next one. Make array consecutive. So okay, you give an array, and you need to find out the missing value. So 457 is the missing value, but you return the size of it, right? So we can sort it. So array.sort status. When you sort, right, 6, 2, 3, 8 become 2, 3, 6, 8, and it doesn't matter we're starting from 1. We can start from 2. So the missing value is the value between 3 and 6, and 6 and 8, right? But we only need to return the size. So 6 subtract 3 is 3. Since the index is not, since it's the value, so we subtract 1 is 2. So count is 2, and this one 8 minus 6 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. So count plus 1 will be 3. Okay, so I'm gonna code it, and while I'm coding, you will know what happened. So in answer equals 0, and whatever we do, we start from the beginning to the end. And we need to find out the difference. If the difference is 1, we don't care about it, right? So status and I plus 1 minus status I. The second one minus the first one, so we need to make sure it's not out of bounds. If the difference equal to 1, continue. Like we don't care about it. But if the difference is not equal to 1, like for example 3 and 6, we use the largest value, subtract the smallest value, status I plus 1, and then you return answer. So 6 minus 3 is 3, but we're only missing 4 and 5, which is 2, right? So it's subtract 1, sorry. So 6 minus 3 is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2. So the answer for now is 2. But when we go on the next one, is 8 minus 6 is 2. So difference is not 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So idea isn't bad. And let me see if I have error or not. Okay, I don't. And yeah, correct. Now go on the next one, almost increasing sequence. You can accept the no more than 1 element from the array. So when this example 1 3 2 1 1 3 2 1 return false is because the previous one is greater than the current one, so you return false. So this is one case. And for example 1 3 2, you can accept 1 happen, so you return true, right? But what happened, you have 1 2 3 2 1, you increasing but you decreasing here and decreasing twice at the same time. So what I want to do is starting from the count. So this is the count of the decreasing element. So I equal to 1, I less than sequence the length I plus plus, and if the previous one is greater than equal to the current one, we don't care about it. Okay, we do care about if the previous one is greater than equal to the current one. Previous one is equal to the current one, we care about it. So count plus plus. And if the count equal to 2, so 3 and 2 count plus plus, 2 and 1 count plus plus, but you only accept 1, at most 1. So if count is greater than 1, you return false right away. But what happened to this case? When I find out the variable that is less than equal to the least one, and this value 1 is less than equal to this one, you return false. So if sequence of I is less than equal to sequence of I minus 2, so let's say the I is right here, sequence of I is less than equal to sequence of I minus 2, and sequence of I minus 1 is greater or equal to the sequence of I plus 1. So I plus 1, I minus 1, disturb violate, right? Violate the constraint. So this shouldn't happen because it will discontinue at this index, and we can find out at this index. We don't need to care about the last index, and we also need to care about the constraint I minus 2 greater or equal to 0 and I plus 1 less than sequence dot length. So in this case you return false, and overall you return true. So let's just run it. Hope I don't have error. Oh, I do. Try again. Okay, I got it. So you not only just count the previous one equal to the current one, you also have to count the I minus 2 and I plus 1 and I minus 1, the constraint. So the time should be O of n, because you loop through the array, and since you know the index is all of 1, you don't need to worry about it. So this question is pretty straightforward. Okay, let's go on next one. After becoming famous, so you are given a metric. Okay, so when you see 0, they refuse to stay in any of the free room or any of the room below it. So you loop through the column, right? You loop through a column, you see a 0, you go on the next one, you go on the next one, you go on the next one. So this, the value for this is 5 plus 1 plus 2, okay, it's 9. So 1 plus 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1, and then you will get 9. Okay, so you loop through the column first. Column equal to 0, column less than metric dot length, column plus row equal to 0, row less than metric dot length, row plus. If, okay, we also need to store into the variable if the metric, what it is, if row column equal to 0, we break, else we add the value, right? And then you return the answer. So metric add when it's not equal to 0, so 1 5 break, 1 break, 2 break. Yes. Okay, let's try again. Oh, I got it. Okay, so the time will be all of n time m, because you do through the 2D array, and idea is starting from the column, and then inside the column for loop you have the row loop, and then you just add. Okay, it's not hard, so I hope you get it, and peace out.